Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flipping Ain't Easy. Pardon the mess here. In the middle of sort of doing a lot of different things today. Of course, listing, did a lot of shipping. If you guys saw the little short video I put out, had a lot of items, but just not a lot of sale price. My average sale price this weekend, we're talking $20, $30 average sale price. And, ultimately, unless you're selling a lot of items, that's just not going to cut it. But it looks nice. You got a big USPS bag full of stuff. Still have a bunch of UPS packages I have to take in a little bit later. And yeah, I just, it is what it is. If that's the kind of stuff I'm listing lately, then that's the kind of stuff I'm going to sell. It just makes sense. So just want to let people roll in here. We have Kevin Hawthorne in the house, and we have G. Gazzara, and hi from Blairsville, Georgia. So how you doing? Thanks for joining us today. And for those of you who are watching the video live, please do me a favor. Participate in the chat today. If you have questions, I'm going to try to do my best to keep up with you guys. You guys are really ahead of me last time, and that's kind of my fault. I tend to go down, on tangents and things like that. Just my nature. But if you're watching live, hit that like button. That's kind of all I really ask for. If you don't participate, that's fine. I mean, there's really, I think the metrics show like 80% don't subscribe, and I'm sure it's a similar number who don't participate in the live streams. Just kind of watch them, and that's fine. Maybe you're watching while you work. Drop in and say hi. Say hi in the chat. That definitely helps the algorithm, but it certainly helps promote conversation. So I appreciate that. For those of you who are watching after the fact, comment down below, and even ask a question if you need to. I try to, as much as I can, try to get back to as many people as I can. As the channel grows, it's going to be a little bit harder, but I still try. So it's not, if you don't get a response to your question, it's not because I, just blew you off. It's because I probably didn't see it. But, I still do try. And sometimes I get back to comments somewhat late. It's just I didn't see it until that particular time. So the subject material today is talking about your sales, slow sales, and how your traffic is important. I've talked about this many times on the channel, but I continue to see posts on a lot of these forums where people just don't seem to understand. Like someone will say, I have a watcher, but I don't have any views. Well, my first thought, now it could be for a number of reasons, but my first thought is that, well, your views, it's a 30-day rolling period. So you may have had views, say 6 weeks ago, and one of those viewers decided to watch your listing, and that listing is still active, and it's been more than 30 days, and that view has gone away. And there's one of two things that could be going on. Whenever you list an item and you're not able to sell it, you're just not selling your items, you could pull your hair out and blame eBay, blame it on all kinds of factors. But, in actuality, there's still traffic coming to the site. People are still making sales. My sales ain't where I want them to be, and I'm sure most of you are in the same boat. But it's one of two things that's going on here. It's either your item's not in demand, it's the quality of item that you're sourcing, or there's something wrong with your listing. Now, when I say something's wrong with your listing, that can be your photos, can be your price, can be your title, could be the percentage you're promoting at, could be you don't have complete item specifics, could be a wide variety of things. Your coupon you're not utilizing, you have a store, you're not even using a coupon of any type, or markdown sales. You're not even using a markdown sale. I realized, and I ended up getting quite a bit more sales just because I forgot to reinstate my markdown sale. So those are things that you have to figure out. And you got to have both of them right. If you have a perfect listing, but nobody's wanting your item, or there's very little interest in your item, then I don't care how good of a price, don't care how good of photos you take, how complete your listings are, you're going to struggle in selling that item. So there's two sides of the coin. You need to make sure that both sides are okay. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. And that's the problem when you buy these pallets like I buy, and you don't know what's in them. You still list them because you see that there's comps and there's value. Yet, that might have been 3 sales in the last 90 days, but you might be up against 100 people selling that same item. So I don't really have a lot of control at sourcing when I'm buying those liquidation pallets because I get what I get. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. And that's the good thing about being able to go out to yard sales, which something I did this weekend. If you saw the video this morning that I put out, you have a little bit more control, or a lot of bit more control, than if you're just buying it blindly through a liquidation pallet. But even then, and I can go into that later if you want, but even then it's sort of questionable because you kind of feel like, you're looking at this item at a yard sale and you're pulling out your phone and you're kind of under the gun. You really don't have a lot of time and the same resources than if I'm sitting at home on my computer with 2 monitors. Don't have the same resources at your fingertips, or they're not as easy to access to really evaluate what you're about to buy. And I'm kind of finding that out as I go through some of these items that I picked up. So I just wanted to put it out there. I didn't want to make this something where I'm kind of going into, explaining, impressions and page views and what it means to your sales. Certainly, it would be better in a dedicated video to do that. I just don't want you to get too caught up in the actual view counts on your listings, and figuring if you're a failure because of that. And and this is kind of motivational Monday. I don't want you to feel like you failed. You just have to do a very good job of researching the type of item that you are posting. If you see when you do a 90-day sold, you filter out your items, it's a 90-day list of items that have sold based on the parameters you just entered into search. And up in the top left corner, there should be a number. I think it's in bold, and it'll tell you how many items are in that search result. Go back, unclick the solds, see how many items are actually listed. What are you up against? And get an idea of the sell-through rate. The closer those numbers are, the better that item is, the more demand that it is. The farther away, well, if you have only a few items, but man, as soon as they're listed, you have dozens of these items sold, then that's an outstanding sell-through rate. You want to find more of those. And there's got to be a reason why your item hasn't sold if that's the case. But if it's the other side, where you have a lot of items listed, you're up against a high competition, yet only a couple of those Adidas, sandals have sold in the last 90 days, it's probably not a great item to keep sourcing. So just want you to get an idea just by springing up the conversation. We want to really blame eBay, the economy, and things like that, summer slowdown, when we've done everything within our power to solve the problem. And that's my homework assignment to you, is to dive into your listings. Don't just list it and just forget it and let it sit there forever and keep relisting itself. Fix your listings. If it hasn't sold in a month, there's a problem. It's either a bad item or there's a problem with your listing. So let's get to some other folks here. We have Lee Hayes. Hi from Tennessee. The longest yard happening this weekend. I guess that is a yard sale, huh? That sounds pretty fun. We had a great time this weekend. Went with Biscuit Butt. Went with Carrie from American Arbitrage and Don from Lady Arbitrage channels. Go check out their channels. That's Carrie. He's from American Arbitrage. He's about the same size channel. He loves yard selling. It's kind of what they do. They do the thrift store scene. And he puts out more shorts than he does long video, but that seems to work good for him. Also, Dawn from Lady Arbitrage, she's also has her own YouTube channel, and go check her out as well. And I failed to do that in the video that I put out this morning, and I feel sort of bad about that because I look at them more as they're down-to-earth people. And, even though they have their own channels, it felt like I was out spending the day with some friends. And when I made the video, I just felt that way when I made my video, until Archie asked me, did I give him a shout out? And I'm like, oh, no, I didn't do that. So I apologize to you guys for not doing that. So go check out their channel if you have time, but do it after we're done here. I'd appreciate that. BXX32 says, hey, John, great to see the live stream. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I put out a video this morning, but I thought, you know what? I still want to do a Monday live stream to get the week started. So thanks for hanging out with us. We got Archie in the house, Biscuit Butt. What the dealio, fam? What did you end up buying? He bought a bunch of 78s, some records that were, I don't think they had the covers to them. They were just separated with paper towels in a box, and he got a pretty good deal on them, but I don't know what else he bought other than that. So put that in the chat if you have time to do that. No One Design 2 says, hey, John, how you doing? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We have James Helms. Hello from West Palm Beach. Awesome. Leisha Ware says she's from Long Island, New York. So thanks for hanging out with us today. Savage Pickers are in the house, and glad to see you're able to change your name on YouTube. That's awesome. Surplus for Bizilic or Business LLC. Sorry, just looked like it said Bizilac, but no, it's Business LLC. Hello from North Carolina. We have Magnolia Motion. Hi, everybody. Hit the like button. I appreciate that. Certainly do. It helps the channel. We have Semperfi 1918 in the house. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We have CD. Hi from Texas. Annie says hi from Ontario, Canada. New to eBay selling. Well, Annie, this is a good channel. Whether you are new, intermediate, and even advanced. I need advanced eBayers on this channel as well, because I don't always have the answers, but I dive into eBay process, policies, issues, and things like that. Things that you need to know regardless of how long you've been selling on eBay. And someone's sending me messages on eBay, so they're going to have to wait. Lee Hayes 1 says, hi from Tennessee. The longest yard sale happening again this Highway 127. No, I'm not going to be able to make it, but knock it out the park if you can. I definitely would be there if I was in the area. Did you see any video game items at the garage sales you went to? Getting harder and harder to find good stuff. So much competition. No. And, we weren't the first ones at these yard sales. We got there a little late. But even then, we came across stuff that we were able to pick out. So that was kind of cool. But no video game stuff that I saw. A lot of movies, a lot of DVDs, a lot of VHS tapes and things like that. But no video games stuff at all. Trade with Kate says, hi from Los Angeles. How you doing? LA. I have family. My daughter lives in LA. So how are you doing out there? We have Ryan McClurg. Hey, John. How you doing, Ryan? The bubbly chick does unboxings. How I'm able to be here due to having 2 separate illnesses in the exact same time. So I cannot return to work till I'm healthy. Well, get well and just relax, sip on maybe some soup or something, and just chill out and watch the live stream. But thanks for hanging out with us today. I appreciate it. Michael Norton says, hello, I haven't had slow sales. I've been posting like crazy, taking some on my higher end stuff and putting them in auction. I believe this has helped. I'm going to be doing that probably tomorrow. I'm going to run some 5-day auctions. I'd like to end my auctions on Sunday afternoon. I think that is sort of the prime time to end. People are winding down their weekend. Maybe they're getting home from a trip, getting back home from church, that kind of thing. And they're just chilling out because they know they got to go back to work tomorrow on Monday. And, it's the best time to have an auction end. So I have one of those huge racks in my garage, and I have all my larger items are on there. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to go in and auction those items out. And yeah, I'm going to lose money in the long run, but I don't, because I'm moving here pretty soon, the next 2.5 weeks. I don't want to lug around large boxes of stuff, of merchandise. I can always get more. I would rather liquidate it, sell it, move on from it. And basically the environment I'm going to have, it's going to be a smaller area. You see behind me, move my head. I got the table. That's my shipping table. It's adjustable shipping table. It's like one of those adjustable desks. And I have like 4 racks in that room full of stuff that's listed on eBay. Well, I'm not going to have that space anymore in this new house. I have a little larger garage, so I'm going to have to make it work. And I just don't want to lug a lot of merchandise out there if I can help it. Deportes en el recuerdo. I hope I have that right. Hi, John. Is anyone experiencing problems while purchasing shipping labels using Chrome as a browser? The purchase label usually is highlighted in blue, but Chrome appears gray, so I can't click it. Okay. I've heard people having problems with their labels on Chrome. You can do one of 2 things. It's probably one of these 2 things. Try Firefox. Now, there's that browser. It's a free browser you can download, and that fixes a lot of the problems that you're experiencing in Chrome. Or number 2 is your funding is not correct. So you need to go down in that label screen and make sure that if you are asking it to use the funds in your account, that you have money in your account in your available funds. Otherwise, you're going to need to select like PayPal or a dedicated payment source before it's going to let you run that label. I run into that as well, so that's why I bring it up. Biff Boffo says the listing quality report is very underutilized in analyzing sales metrics, store health. It's one of the most powerful tools in eBay if you're a niche seller. Really, any seller. You know, if you sell a lot of different things, you're going to have a different traffic reports than if you are a niche seller, but it'll give you an idea. You know, you're looking at maybe your sales are down, maybe they're up as compared to the last previous month. You can then go into listings and it'll give you a list of the different listings that you have up, and you get an idea. Well, this is a hot item, it's getting a lot of views, and this one's not getting any views. And usually it's the hot item is going to get a lot of views, but maybe there's something wrong. Maybe your price is wrong. Maybe as compared to your competition, your photos just, aren't up to par. Could be your listing isn't complete. It could be that on the other side of the spectrum where you're not getting any views, that your item just sucks. Let's just be real about it. And I think a lot of times we give our items a little bit too much credit for what they are. We think that what we're selling is just the best thing since sliced bread. And in reality, it isn't that good of an item, and we just want to get rid of it. Don't try to get top dollar on something that isn't in high demand. Find that find that buyer who's willing to buy it at a reasonable price and just move on from it. Why Worka says, hey everyone, took your advice from last week and focused on listing and sending offers. It worked, had a good sales week. Also, I focused on the title, emphasis on the first 5 words. And I was thinking about this before we came on. The title, think about it like this. When we talk about using brand names, because a lot of people like to use brand names at like the first word in their title. Think about this. You go to that yard sale, right? And you see that pair of shoes. If the first thought is, oh, those are some cool Nikes, or wow, Adidas, Ultra Boosts, whatever, right? Then you should use your title like that. But if you walk up to some random like electronics item that's like, I don't know, whatever random Chinese brand, you're not going to go, oh, wow, we got some, I don't even know the brand names. They're so off the wall. If it's an off the wall brand name, not something that would be popping in your mind, the first 5 words of what you think this item is, then you shouldn't even be using it in your title. There's a lot of sellers that fall into that trap. I fell into it as well. I have a lot of listings to fix. And, okay, someone's sending me a text that has nothing to do with this. So I had a lot of things to fix, and I still do. And I'm still coming across that. And guess what? As soon as I rework the title, I relaunch it as Sell Similar, I usually have a lot of watchers on that item. And it's because it's appearing a little bit differently in the best match search. And you could still sell an item with an off-the-wall brand name, certainly. There's a number of ways that someone can find your item in search, not just best match, but you want to be able to improve your ranking in best match search if you can. Natty P says, hi, if you check your watchers in the app, it shows 0, but the computer shows I have 4. Yeah, I don't doubt it. eBay is full of glitches. It's hard to believe that an item can have just sometimes hundreds of watches, not watches, but views in a lifetime. Let's just say you've had it up for 5 or 6 months. Even then, hundreds of views, and then the new system moves over, and you're not even able to get one. Yeah, they took the bots out, so they're the third-party programs that are accessing your listings are no longer registering as views. But come on, you can't tell me that if you have hundreds of views on a listing that it was all bots. And even if you took 80% away, you should have 20 to 40 to 50 views that are organic, and you're not even able to get that once they change over. So yeah, I don't doubt that there's something wrong here with eBay, but I think sometimes we lose we lose sight of the fact that, okay, so you had 5 views, so you had 10 views, and it's not showing up. It's showing up as 0. None of them bought your item. So what's wrong? What's going on with your listing? And does the item suck, or is there a problem with your listing? It's one of the two, and you need to figure that out. Has anyone noticed some weird glitches over the weekend, like offer to send to watchers, the percentage and or price you type in show a different price on the right side? No, I put an actual price. I don't put a percentage off. So I haven't seen that one. And another one is shipping label print reset. Click to purchase shipping label. The paper print setting is formatted differently. The 4x6 is reverted to 8x11. So you end up printing a huge sheet, right? Haven't seen that either. And I switched because I sell in Mercari. Any of you guys sell in Mercari, you can't run your labels, at least through Mercari, through your Rollo or Zebra printer or whatever printers are out there. You just can't do it. And I have to run it off my laser printer and just cut it out like, old fashioned, like I used to. That's in my opinion, the only downside of selling on Mercari so far. And if you guys aren't selling on Mercari, I don't know what to tell you. I talked to you guys about cross-posting from eBay to Mercari, and there's other sites. You can do Poshmark as well. I've made like 20 sales since I started talking about it. That's 20 sales. I can just tell by the type of item. That's 20 sales that I wouldn't have had I not used. In this case, I use Prime Lister. You can use the other sites as well. There's other listers. There's one that's very popular that costs more. There's one that costs nothing and has a lot more involvement in it. I do like this Prime Lister, and I believe in it because it allows me to just go through my listings and just say I want to take 10% to all my watchers, and in Mercari's terms as likers. And it goes in and goes through all my listings. I don't even have to do it. It does it for me. That's cool. I like that. And it's not just a listing program. It actually helps you maintain your listing. So just something to consider. Of course, go down below in the description and give it a shot. Use that link to give it a try. There's like a 14-day free trial without a credit card. So that's my pitch for the live stream. Hopefully I didn't lose too many people. We're at 94, which is quite awesome. So let's go ahead and continue. We have Natty P. Hi, if you check your watches in the app shows 0, but the computer shows I have 4. Okay, we already talked about that. Savage Pickers, I've been running sales a couple times a week. This has helped steady sales. Not fantastic, but enough to pay some bills. And, we're just trying to, maybe we're stuck at 1 sale a day. How do we get to 2? How do we take 2 and get it to 3 to 4? And it's doing the little things. It's going through your existing inventory. I mean, yeah, you have to be consistent. That was another thing I was thinking about earlier. I'm constantly thinking of different ways to improve my account and constantly trying to figure out why others are having a hard time making sales. And the number one thing is consistency. And that's pretty much with anything. I'm trying to improve my watch time on YouTube, trying to improve my viewership, trying to build a channel. And the first thing that goes through my mind is just like eBay, consistency. If you are not consistent, eBay is not going to give you consistent sales, and really they can't make someone click on your item to buy it, but they can give you traffic. And so when people talk about how eBay can throttle you, it's just the traffic they send to your listings. And I think based on that involvement that you give eBay, they increase or decrease the amount of traffic that is to your listings. How many times does your item show up in the search? You can run a search 100 times for the same item, and over a day, and get 100 different search results or placements. Of course, you may see the same items that promote at a high level that are up higher. But if you go through the first page, it will not always be the same all the time. It's going to be different. And that's eBay choosing your placement based on all this different stuff in the background. We talk about the algorithm, but your consistency is where it's at. And that's what's going to at least, take care of a lot of other things that you might be lacking. That's the number one thing. Your titles 2, I think promoted listings is 3. Taking advantage of markdown sales and coupons, I think, is behind that, and 4, followed by, other aspects of your listing. So make sure you got those things going on, but consistency is, to me, the most important. Natty P, hi. If you check your watches in the app, it shows 0, it shows 4. It's all messed up, but we did talk about that already. So we're going to go ahead and go down further. Super Retro Gamer Brothers, happy to finally make your live broadcast. Happy to have you here. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I love the channel name. It's pretty cool. Let's see. You're getting a lot of same questions and I'm falling behind. So let me try to catch up to you guys. Trina's fetal alcohol baby. Well, that's tragic. I learned that baby clothes don't seem to sell well for me. Oh, well, I'll keep listing. They generally don't sell well unless you have the brand, really high quality brand names. I don't sell a lot of baby clothes, so I don't know the names to give you. But generally, clothing in itself is just saturated. That's the problem. It's saturated. So, take the baby clothes that you have listed. Go on and search for the same clothes and see how many of those baby clothes are listed, right? And then do a search for solds. See how many have sold. I'm willing to bet the listed is way higher than the amount of that have been sold in the last 90 days. So it's definitely a struggle when you're dealing with a market that is very saturated. So, and my daughter tried to sell baby stuff. She bought some lots with baby stuff. And while there's a market for it, it's just not easy to succeed in that particular niche. Biff Boffo says, studies have shown that lots of people think they're smarter than they are. I think many people think their stuff is more valuable than it is. And I'll be the first to tell you that the items that I have in my store, there's nothing special about them. And honestly, as far as myself, I don't think I'm all that bright. I learned from experience. I'm not a rocket scientist. I've done this full time now, little over 3 years. Yeah, little over 3 years, 3.5 years. And almost everything I'm telling you is what I've learned. And if I was making these live streams at the beginning of 2019, I probably have nothing to say to you because I really couldn't help anyone. I'm learning every day. A lot of you guys come up on this program and you teach me something that I haven't known before, and I'm able to apply it to my everyday listing and selling on eBay. And it's sort of a community that's a give and take. So hopefully you don't find that on this channel. And that's probably why you're consistently coming back to watch the live. So I appreciate that. JRKR 1964. When you have a lot of listings, unfortunately, it's very difficult to babysit all of them. Always a balance between listing new items and trying to get older items to move. Yeah, it is. And sometimes you can lose sight over one for the other. Like, wow, I'm going to spend some time today going through my account, making sure my listings are correct. And then your consistency of listing new items isn't happening. The stuff that you bought to list is still sitting outside. So you need to make sure, maybe I'm going to dedicate 2 hours to listing today. Once that 2 hours is up, I'm going to spend 2 hours on working on my account. That's a good way to spend 4 hours if you have it. And it's a good way to be consistent as well. We have B7777 says hello. And GT says yo, yo. So thanks for hanging out with us today. Elio Mora says, hey, bud, haven't been able to see your awesome content. Happy to be here now, though. Hope is all is good. All is well. You know, like I said, I guess I could sit here and bellyache and complain about my sales. I showed off, you know, a big bag of stuff that I sold, and there's others that are less fortunate. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to do better. If I had 2 bags of stuff out here to resell, or actually that is sold, I'd want 3 bags. So, you know, that's just my nature. And I hope it doesn't come off as trying to brag or anything, because that's really not a brag. Wasn't very happy with the dollar amounts. And, you know, that's why, you know, a lot of channels talk about how many items did you list? How many items did you sell? Well, I sold quite a bit. But at the end of the day, the scoreboard is how much did you make? Because if I sold 20 items a day, that isn't going to pay my bills any differently than if I have 10 items that sold for the same amount of money. Austin says, hey, been away from eBay for 2 weeks because of my normal day job. And you know what? Based on what I'm seeing with reselling right now, if you have that day job, keep it. Sell part-time. Don't fall into the trap of, wow, I could be my own boss. Because being your own boss definitely has a definite health benefit to you. I feel it every day. I don't feel the same way that I used to feel when I went into work. With all the responsibilities, the boss down your neck, that kind of thing. But there's a different level of stress, and that is the consistent money coming in to make sure that you can get all your bills taken care of and have money left over to just enjoy your life. Biscuit says, Deportes, you don't need to put your question multiple times. Well, you know, he wants it answered. Prairie Pond, hello all. I appreciate that. Josh, the 120 sale is about 5 hours away from me. I want to go so bad. You know what? If it was about that far away from me, based on what I've seen before in the past, community sales are pretty awesome, and I would definitely consider that. Of course, Tennessee is a little bit farther than that, so that's not happening with me. But if you have the ability to do it, the gas is going to be something you can write off. Definitely do it. Do it if you can. Let's see. Dreamy Buy says, or go to bulk shipping section, talking about the shipping problem. Firefox worked for me. I have a Jaden label printer. It sold, said Chrome would not work for Jaden. Firefox, I know that Crazy New York Driver said that he switched over to Firefox and he has not had a single problem with the labels yet. So that's something to do. It doesn't cost anything. And I believe if you have some bookmarks and settings set in Chrome, you can import it over as well. GT says, listing quality report is very helpful. eBay is telling you what it wants. They do. eBay tells you what it wants. eBay, if you look at their policies, they tell you what they want you to do. I think we ignore it sometimes. And, you know, talking about best match search, we talked about that a few weeks ago, and I went over the whole thing step by step. Here's what eBay expects from you for best match search. And we're still trying to figure it out. Hopefully this content on the channel can kind of help you guys get through that. I realize that some of you guys work 9 to 5, do this part-time, and you can't really get into the policies and start sorting things out. And that's kind of why we do what we do here. The Thrift Shop Hustler says, hey, John, congrats on the success of your channel. Been following you since almost day one. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's just surreal. You know, I don't feel any different than I felt when I had nobody, except that I know people are listening now. And before, I just thought it was my family and friends just trying to be nice with the view counts. But I consider you guys my friend. I mean, as far as reselling friends, I made friends just from this channel. And I think it's awesome. Just this platform, I didn't ever expect to be over a few thousand subs. And we have here, what, going on 13,000 after what, 2 years, 2.5 years. So that's awesome. But I couldn't have done any of it without you guys. So yeah, it is a little bit of work, but sometimes it's a little bit of work just to have to sit here and listen to me sometimes, if I'm being honest. Ask my wife. She'll tell you the same thing. CD says, does having a store increase sales versus no store? People will tell you no. Larger channels will tell you no. some very prolific channels will tell you no. I'm here to tell you, yes, it does. And the reason why it does is this. When you don't have a store, you can't run a coupon. When you don't have a store, you can't run a markdown sale. I can tell you from my own experience, you guys have watched my channel uh, for the longest time, but since the beginning of July, I've been pulling my hair out trying to figure out where in the heck are my sales. I had one day of 2 weeks ago, one day I had a Saturday, $16 in sales. And then I looked at it and I'm like, wait, I didn't have my markdown sale set. Went in, set it. I'm getting anywhere from 6 to 10 sales a day. Now, the money isn't always great in those sales, average sale price, but that's on me. If you list $20 all day long per item, you're going to get $20 sales all day long. If you list $100 to $200 per item value, that's the kind of sales you're going to get. So markdown sales are very important. And I think I proved that to myself. And it was probably about $1,000 mistake because that's probably what I lost in sales. But you know what? I learned that. And there's bigger channels. So the reason why bigger channels will tell you that it doesn't make a difference is because they have such high volume that they've never even bothered with it, to be honest with you. And if they did, they'd see a higher volume of sales than what they're experiencing. But because they have so many sales anyway, they don't need it. So, you get a lot, 100,000, 200,000 people watching your channel. There's going to be a percentage of those people that are going to be watching and shopping with you first. I get a lot of people right now. I have 12,000 people subscribe to my channel. And I get some cool people coming on saying, hey, want to support the channel. I'm buying this item. I had someone over the weekend do that, bought a couple items. And I thought that was really cool of them. And it wouldn't have been possible without having 12,000 subs. Now, up that by times 10, and that would explain why they don't need markdown sales or they don't even need a store to make it work. Now, because they sell in such high quantity, it's going to require them to have a store so that they can save on their fees. So if you have a lot of items, you're going to save on your fees, your insertion fees, just from having a store. So you heard it here first. If you haven't heard it before, if you're on the fence, get a store. In my opinion, it's well worth it. Use the bulk listing tool and delete old items and sell similar instead of giving up. Yes, sell similar. It gives your item a new item boost. I think it's 48 hours. I'm not sure exactly how long that new item boost lasts for. It's temporary, but at least it gets your item in front of eyes temporarily. Now, hopefully you fix the problems with your listing so that now it's more than a temporary boost. Your item comes up in search, high in search, because you may have fixed your title and things like that. Super Retro Gamer says, how do you deal with people who message you asking for deals when you already have the lowest sales price on eBay or anywhere else? I can like, for instance, I just had one this morning. I think I had a brand new pack, like a 10 pack of Hanes, whatever. And I had them for like $19.99 plus shipping, which is very competitive to the comps. And they offered me $12. And actually, I think it's free shipping. They offered me $12. Items less than a pound. And my initial thought was, no, I can't do that. But of course, the first thing I do is go and check out the seller, make sure that they don't like leaving negatives for just random reasons to other sellers, or check out the buyer and make sure that they don't leave random negatives to other sellers. And then I think about, okay, do I come back with, let's meet halfway, which is normally what I do, or like I'm about to move, do I want to hold on to this item? Will I be comfortable if someone walked up to my door right now and said, look, I'll give you $6 for this pack. I mean, that's $6 in my pocket. Don't have to pay for shipping and eBay fees. That's essentially what I'm going to make after this is all said and done. And I said, you know what? I am. My cost of these are like $2 anyway. I'm making 3x what I have into it. So that's what I consider. Is it ideal? Is it something that, I want to do on everything that I have in my store? No, you just got to look at each item that you have that you're getting an offer on and evaluate what's the market look like. Is this a hot item? a lot of times I'll list a hot item. I'll get an offer on it like almost right away. Now, I could probably justify it to myself. Go ahead and take the offer. I can make 3x my money. But if you just allow that item to sit, you can get your price because that item has demand. So don't get caught up in taking the first offer you get on an item you've just listed. That's an excellent sign that you're dealing with an item that's going to get a lot of people interested. Art Betzold says, did we lose USPS discounts last couple of weeks? eBay charged me same as they did the buyer. No, we still have them. We still have the USPS discounts. eBay came out and said that whatever that discussion was, that's going to affect other entities like Pitney Bowes. Even though eBay uses Pitney Bowes for their label system, it's a different program, so it's not going to affect USPS discounts. If you go into your account settings, you can see that you have like I have it set that way. Offer the buyer the same discount that I get in my store. And the reason is I'm not trying to make money off of shipping. On larger items, I will build in like $1 or $2 as handling, but I won't generally go in and charge them more for shipping. I want to be competitive. I don't want them to charge the buyer too much and scare them away. So that's kind of my thinking on that. But go into your business policies and make sure that that's set correctly. We have Attractive Metal Designs. Hi from Attractive Metal Designs UK. We sell niche home and garden items and sales are slow. Yeah, check your competition, check the type of item you're selling, and just make sure that the items you have some demand. BXX32 says, totally done with sending best offers to watchers. I keep snagging zero feedback users who accept and never pay, or someone accepts from Greece or Philippines, and I only ship domestic. Come on, eBay. Yeah, you're right. And there's times it's going to be frustrating, but think of it like this. If you're not sending offers to watchers, I think you're not getting that boost. There's a boost involved there. Used to be I would send the bare minimum offer and it would generate organic sales at the full price. It still happens. I sent out about 20 this morning and I had 2 sales at full price. And I thought that the sales would be at the discounted rate that I sent out. And you guys are lucky. I sold a gaming microphone for PC for $25 plus shipping. So awesome. You guys are very lucky. I usually sell items when I have these live streams. But I would say don't stop doing it. It's frustrating, I know, but do it for the boost. If for anything else, offer the bare bones minimum 5% discount, the lowest discount you can offer, and just send it out. And you're going to get at least a boost on that item for offering the item to somebody else. Shirley says, hi, thanks for hanging out with us. Emmanuel says, I'm starting to figure it out. Looks like eBay is hiding listings on purpose. You have to have to enter the words in the search bar 4 to 5 times in order to get all the listings. It's crazy. Not sure what I mean, what you mean by that. If you have to enter the words in 4 to 5 times, are you talking about maybe you've searched for your item 4 to 5 times using the same search phrases or words, and you found that it popped up once? And that's what I was talking about earlier. You can run a search 100 times with the same search, and you're not going to see the same set of results. And that ties into the algorithm. It ties into everything you've done on your account. I mean, is your account in good health? Is your listing complete? Does it have a competitive price? Are you promoting your listing? How's your title? I mean, we talked about the first 5 words in your title. If those things don't mesh up, if you're not as compared to your competition for that same item, then you're going to have a hard time competing with them. That's why you got to get in there and fix that. Surplus for Business LLC. Woohoo, you have 100 watching. I have 97 right now, but it may have hit 100. I'm not constantly watching it, but that's awesome. So thanks, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like button. I'd certainly appreciate that very much. Mary McQuain says, if you have the local Macari sends you your computer, then you have a snapshot through Adobe Acrobat Reader. You can print your labels on your Rollo. The College Picker did a great video about it. Yeah, you have to go in and save the the label. Now, here's the reason why I don't like it, because I've done that. You save the label, you get it into a printable format, then you can run it on your Rollo. My Rollo is, if I do that, it comes out very faint. The barcode's faint, the address is faint, and that doesn't work for me. And I know there's a setting within the Rollo you can slow down the printing process to make it print a little darker, but even that doesn't really resolve the problem. I get the same problem when I'm running labels on Amazon for items that I sell on Amazon. And when I buy the label through Amazon, it's the same kind of situation. I don't have that problem on eBay. I don't have that problem on Pirate Ship, but that's why I don't do all that noise. I just run the label on my laser, cut it out by hand, like if I was a beginning eBayer, and I just, do it that way. Oh, they paid. Good. Shirley says, I've noticed if I constantly list daily and go in and modify a handful of old listings, it's boosting my sales. Yes, everything you do, I'm convinced, everything you do to your store, whether it's through your listings, whether it's through Sell Similar, whether it is sending offers to watchers, all these things definitely help boost you in search. I mean, the more love you give eBay, the more love they're going to give you back. Playtrack 22. Hey, John, how are you? How are you moving situation right now? Well, we're locked in. We're ready to go. I've decided that we are going to have a yard sale the Saturday before we officially move out of here. I figure we're going to try to downsize, and the stuff that we would normally be, just either tossing out or donating, that kind of thing, wanted to see what a yard sale would be like. So we're accumulating stuff that we're not going to move with us, and we're going to have a yard sale. Archie is going to be there with us. I've had a couple people email me, flippingainteasy2020@gmail.com. Of course, I'm not going to jump on here and give my address information. I don't want to do that. But what I'm going to do is, if you are in the Vegas area and you're interested in coming out, we're going to start about 7 a.m. Saturday the 14th. If you're interested in coming out to check out what we have and just say hi, I will email you that information a couple days before we actually have the yard sale. So hopefully you can make it if you're in the area. Jennifer Gouge says, hi, John. First time on live with you. Thanks for all the videos. Where are people sourcing all these high-end handbags? Good question. I can give you one lead if you're looking for that. Check out macy'sliquidation.com. You have to go on and sign up for an account. I believe you need to have some type of seller certificate through the state that you're in, and they just need it on file so they don't charge you sales tax. But they have a lot of high-end handbags and purses and clothing and furniture that you can buy and have delivered directly to you. So check them out if you haven't already. Ren Gregory says, I agree with the consistency plan. Wish my ADD brain would stay focused. I'm trying for 10 items every day for 10 days. Wish me luck. You know what? I got to tell you, you're not alone on that. There's times that I'll come down here and I'm working on getting this done and I get distracted. Okay. I get distracted and then I'm working on for some reason, I'm working on something else. It's happened to me before. So don't feel bad. It definitely, sometimes it's hard to focus when you have a lot of stuff going on. Like me, I have a lot of stuff going on with this channel and with my own stores. And it's certainly a challenge. I can agree with you on that. Not sure if it's vintage says, have you tried cross listing? So definitely try it. I don't care what mode you use or what company you use. Don't do it manually though. Use a software like Prime Lister, and there's a few others out there, but use something to help you. It's going to save you a lot of time. Wavy Moose says, what do you think about Etsy? I think you really have to be niched out to sell on Etsy. I've listed some patches on Etsy and just crickets for me. But of course, I think Etsy is set up like any other site. I don't give it daily love, and they're not going to give me the kind of love back. They're going to give me the kind of love I give them. And I'm sure if I was on there listing every day, I probably would have some sales on those collectibles. But it's a good place to go if you're selling collectibles. Definitely not the type of traffic that you're getting on eBay, but it's worth cross listing if you have collectibles. Cross list from eBay over to Etsy with one of these tools we talk about, and it's going to just supplement the number of sales you're making. Surplus for businesses. Annette from S4B. John, I think people have to take offers, as sometimes we price things too high. As long as you're making a profit on the item, move it. And that's a good point. You just need to know what you're into it for. If someone was to tell you, look, you're going to be into this item for 5 and you're going to sell it for 15, would you do it? Would you bother with it? I think most people would. And you if it fits within your criteria, what is your minimum that you take for this item? You did take time to go source it. You probably paid for gas, and your time's worth something. I don't necessarily think you should be in the business of trying to get your money back unless the item's been sitting for a while and it's just time to move on from it. Lilac Seller says, hey all, thank you for hanging out with us. Trina's fetal alcohol baby. Jeez. What do you think about delisting and relisting daily to keep items with a new listing boosts? I do it every day, and it's the not relisting. You want to get away from relisting. You sell similar, and it's the items that are about to end its 30-day period before it recycles into a new 30-day fixed price. So I'll click on the drop down. I'll right click on sell similar, and it'll open in a new tab or a new page. And then I will go down and click end item. And then I'll just go into that listing, fix whatever's wrong, fix the price, and it does help. It creates a new listing and it gets that boost. Austin says, the new lister makes me feel like I'm not filling enough info. Anyone else feel this way too? You know what? The only time, Austin, I use that new lister is if I'm uploading a video. I had some vintage electronics that I picked up, and I just wanted to run a video or attach a video to my listings to show the potential buyer that the thing works and how it works. Some people know the vintage stuff pretty well. They can hear that hum, or they can see that something's not quite right. And if I show them the functionality of an item, they're going to make a better informed decision on buying my item. Number one design says, hit the cha-ching like button, people. I certainly would appreciate that. McCassidy Production says, haircut looks nice. Thanks. It's the same haircut I've had, but thank you. I appreciate that. The Tommy Bernard podcast says, sorry I'm late. Just woke up from the coma I was in for last week when Cincinnati Picker stopped by. That's awesome. I've been in touch with Cincinnati since then, John from the Cincinnati Picker channel. And we are going to do at some point a live on this channel. Not sure exactly when, just want to make sure I fit in with his schedule. And we've been in discussion on that through Instagram. So stay tuned. I will announce it to you guys once we have more information on that. Let's see. Carl, the lazy reseller says, clean up, test, research, etc. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that goes on, like these vintage electronics that you guys can check out on my store if you want to see them. But there are some slide projectors that I picked up, some old, like there's some Kodak ones from the 70s, and there's a couple that were from like the 50s and 60s. And they all work. They all power on. They have a hum to them that I haven't heard in today's electronics that kind of scare me. I don't know how long I'd want to keep those things turned on in my house. I don't want those things to blow up. But that's why we talk about the what is it called again? It just escapes me. The technology that they grade your electronics to make sure that it's environmentally friendly and it's not just zapping up too much of your electricity. But that's definitely not a thing back then. They didn't really care how much electricity was taken up from using those items. I mean, I plugged in this Kodak slideshow thing and ran a 30-second video, and the thing was hot. And I kind of had to mention that in my listing because it kind of scared me a little bit. Uma Sophia says, do you play Geometry Dash? I have no idea what that is. If it's anything like Tetris, no, but I'd like to know more. So tell me what that is. I'd appreciate that. Trina says, I meant the same items daily. I have enough listing allotment to just relist every 24 hours. I don't do it just considering that's allowed. No, I wouldn't do it daily. I believe you get like a 48-hour boost on new listings, so I wouldn't do it daily. If you find yourself having to do that daily, you're missing out. That's time you could be listing more items in your store if you have items sitting around. But focus on the other aspects of your listing. And of course, you can do all you want to your listing. You can make the perfect listing. And if it's not an item that's in demand, you can't force traffic to your listing. So make sure the items that you're selling, you're not in a market that's oversaturated. You might have a decent item, but there's too many people trying to sell it. So there's a lot of considerations that you need to take, but start doing some research. Research what your competitors are doing with that same item. No Design Tools is EPA. No, it's not EPA. It's the Energy Star. I think it's Energy Star compliant. Well, there's no electronics from the 70s, 60s, 70s that were Energy Star compliant. I can tell you by some of these plugs that you plug in, they're scary looking. I mean, it's the thinnest wire. It's just not something I personally would want to have for use. There's people that like a lot of these vintage electronics and they like to fix them up. Even the ones that are broken, we're selling for some money. But for me, no, I wouldn't want any of that plugged in my house. That's for sure. Surplus for Business LLC. I'm a new YouTuber. Would love a shout out. I'm a full-time reseller to Surplus_for-Business LLC. Well, I'll give you a shout out. I haven't watched your content, so I really can't endorse it necessarily, but go check out the channel at Surplus_for_Business LLC after we're done here and give them some love. I certainly would appreciate that. I'm definitely not against showing channels love and support on this channel. That's how I got started. Joe, the Crazy New York Driver, did the same thing, gave me a shout out, and that was quite awesome. Wow, we have 110 people watching the live stream, so that's really, really cool. Uma Sophia, Geometry Dash is a game that has a lot of levels that you can complete. Well, it's something that if I get bored, I'll check out. I really don't get bored often enough to even play games on my phone or anything like that. I will veg out on some video games once in a while at the end of the evening, on the Xbox. But other than that, used to play Tetris back in the day, and I credit that for my ability now to be able to take boxes and to get them strategically placed, like in my car, or if I'm trying to pack too many items into a small area, I can definitely credit that to Tetris. That's for sure. Thank you. I like your channel. Well, thank you. I certainly appreciate that. We're down to earth here, and I don't care if I have 300,000 subs, which I don't think it's ever going to happen, but we're going to keep working towards it. I'm not going to be a different person because of it. I am who I am. And so I appreciate you hanging out with us today. GD Ziltra, seems like you need to buy a vowel there, but hello. Thank you for hanging out with us. Yes, UL listed. That's another one. None of these vintage electronics are UL listed. I can assure you that. I feel almost uncomfortable selling them because I don't feel that they're that safe, but people buy them, they collect them. So, hey, not sure if it's vintage, says John. Slide projectors get hot and stink. Totally normal. I also mentioned in the description, and I did that in the description because I don't want them freaking out once they get it. It's plugged in and it's super hot. I guess I feel a little bit better that you say it's normal. So we'll just go with it. But that's just one thing. Someone might be getting it. Maybe they don't remember the one that they used to have back in the day getting hot. And I don't want them to be alarmed or surprised and have to deal with a return as a result of not mentioning it. Let's see. Darren says, saving time by sourcing on Whatnot, found some good deals. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of people. I'm signed up to sell on Whatnot. I haven't even done it yet. And I was going to do it about a week or two ago, but then I kept hearing from other resellers that are on Whatnot that are saying that It's just easier to list the item on eBay, make a few bucks on eBay, spend your time doing it that way than spending a couple hours on Whatnot and selling it to other resellers who are going to do the same thing for a lot less. Yes, you can move inventory that way, but for a lot of the people that I've spoken to, they're kind of shying away from it. So definitely find the places where you can get good deals on sourcing. So good for you on that. William says, you ever get Staples salvage? Not Staples salvage. I'm sure some of it's probably okay, but for me, I do deal with Staples and getting their customer returns, and that's a pretty good. Usually they have good lots. Marcy says a baby mannequin sounds funny. So someone's trying to find a mannequin for their clothing or something. How do I get motivated whenever I read the Quran? Well, you know what? You'll have to ask someone who reads the Quran. I've never done that. So maybe you want to check into that. Surplus says, I have my first Whatnot on Tuesday night, 7:30. I hope it goes well. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully you can knock it out the park, move your items for a fair price. Don't expect eBay prices. That's the thing. Don't expect eBay prices at all, because you're probably not going to get it. You're going to get a lot of resellers on Whatnot. You will get some collectors looking for a deal. And if you're totally comfortable with moving the items at lower than what you might be able to sell it for online otherwise, then that's what you want to do on that. No One Design says, sorry to bail out, need to head out. Thanks for the live and always great talk. And they want you to hit the like button, and I sure do as well. Hit that like button. We're closing in on an hour, and I think after about an hour of listening to this guy, it's probably time to wrap it up. We usually go about an hour and 15 minutes. And without you guys, I would only have been speaking for 15 minutes, and it wouldn't have been a very good live stream. So thank you for contributing to the content. Like always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And, the topic of this video was about our slow sales. It's going to continue to happen. Just a historical thing in the summer. You just don't get the same kind of sales as we get kind of used to as we get into Q4, and then we circle back around to Q1. The sales are still pretty good for a lot of us. And it's just something you just have to accept. Do everything you can within your power. Understand what you're selling. Understand your competition. We've talked about that before. But you know what? These are just all more examples of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent start to your week. You will hear from me very, very soon. And you guys keep making those sales. Keep checking out your listings. Just stay focused, not so much on listing new items. Definitely continue to do that, but get in there, fix your current listings so that you can sell those items as well. So take care, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.